years. And this is kind of an important fact. I'll come back to it a little bit later. In this same book, cover to cover, there are over 6,000 verses, of which 1,000 are scientific based. So I'm going to talk a little bit about science because that's one of the things that hit me the most when I was doing my research. So, for example, I discovered that something as clear as it is right now about the Big Bang, it's just recently discovered. Like, there was this huge Big Bang, the whole universe once was joined together, and then there was this huge Big Bang, and puff, everything came into existence. Only recently discovered, right? But I found that in this book, this Quran, it was already written 1400 years ago, that this was the way that the universe came into existence. In Surah 21, verse 30, it said that, "Have not those who disbelieve known that the heavens and the earth were joined together as one united piece, and then we parted them, and we have made from water every living thing. Will they not then believe?" So this was written, I'm literally reading it from the Quran right here. This was written 1400 years ago. It was impossible that anyone could have known that 1400 years ago. It was just impossible. There was not enough technology, there was not enough knowledge, not enough science to know this. So that was pretty mind-blowing. Another example, I'm just gonna name a few. There are, like I said, there are over 1,000 examples, scientifically based, but I'm not gonna name all of 1,000. Another example is in the area of the oceans. Only recently it's discovered that oceans are separated through barriers. Like I said, only recently discovered, but it's already mentioned in the Quran. Let me see, it's in Surah 55 and then verse 90, 20, 21, and it said that He has let loose the two seas, the salt and the fresh water, meeting together. Between them is a barrier which none of them can transgress. Then which of the blessings of your Lord will you both, jinn and men, deny? So again, only recently discovered, already mentioned 1400 years ago. So another example is in the area of embryology. Keep in mind that the microscope was only discovered in the 16th century. So this was written down 1400 years ago, just for the record. In the Quran it said that the creation of a human being goes through different phases. Also, it's actually already mentioned in the Quran in Surah 71, ayah or verse 14, while He has created you in different stages. And the stages are even explained specifically in this book, and it's all accurate. Like I said, I also read this book about non-Muslim scientists. There was also a scientist of embryology, and he was shown a few verses like these about embryology, and he converted to Islam as well after he saw these verses in the Quran, and he only recently discovered those things a few years ago. So subhanallah, it's just amazing to see all of these scientific facts, and it was really mind-blowing to me. It was so convincing, and actually this was already pretty much enough proof, but for me the fun part came when I discovered that there's also linguistic miracles in the Quran. And that's really fun for me because I actually studied linguistics at university. I just really enjoy linguistics and all of that stuff. So I've watched a few amazing videos by Nouman Ali Khan about the linguistic miracles of the Quran, and I strongly recommend you to watch a few of them as well. I'll definitely leave a video from Nouman Ali Khan about this subject down below in the description box, so check that out as well if you're interested. So in this book there's just a mathematic, linguistic, miracle going on. From cover to cover, for example, the word forgiveness is named exactly twice as much as the word punishment. The word life is named exactly as many times as is the word death. The word heaven is mentioned 77 times, and the word hell is named 77 times as well. So just remember that this book, it came down in a period of 23 years. So it's not written all in once, it's just in 23 years written down, which makes this even a bigger miracle than it already is. The biggest thing that I discovered, like not even the biggest thing, just one of the big things that I discovered, like linguistically, the word women is named 23 times, as is the word men. It's also named 23 times. So if you count it together, 23 women, 23 men, if you count it, then that makes 46 times. 46 happens to be the number of chromosomes that a human being exists of. So it's amazing, it's incredible, it's unbelievably mind-blowing how this book is just composed. I didn't even mention that the verses, they rhyme, but it's not just the verses they rhyme in the end, but sometimes they rhyme from the beginning of the sentence as well as the end of the sentence. I can't even explain how big of a linguistic miracle this is, besides the fact that it's scientific miracle as well. And it keeps happening, you know. People recognize miracles in this book, like they recognized it 1400 years ago, they recognized it like 500 years ago, 100 years ago, and as we speak right now, there's still probably people discovering new miracles in this book, and probably there are still new miracles to be discovered in this book, scientific miracles that maybe our technology is just not ready for yet. So this book is an ongoing flippant miracle right here, and it really makes me tremble, like every single time that I really think about it and reflect upon it, how big of a miracle it is. At this point, I felt like this was the truth. I did some kind of a thought experiment. What if someone came from the future and told me he was from the future? How could I be convinced? How can you be convinced that someone is from the future, right? If he tells you, he or she, whatever, if that someone tells you like, okay, I'm from the future because